Back in studio with reaction to both of these quarterbacks and the outcome that we saw here. This was a perfect trap spot for Chicago, or at least that's what Chicago media would tell you all week long. It's a tough defense.
It is.
It's going to be cold weather that sort of brings these two teams closer together, and the Bears went out there and proved something off a loss. What'd they prove to you, Matt?
They're a for-real team. They're legit. I love their coach. I love the culture he's created there in Chicago. Their quarterback has a superstar-like arm. And everything else in terms of how they play the game of football fits the Chicago way. It's cold outside. I mean, it's frigid. The field is frozen. But they play a different brand of football, which is encouraging because if they mess around and get that top potential seed, win their division, and of course have a home playoff game, you don't want to go to Chicago with how they play football. They're a very physical team. They lean on you. They run the football. It feels like DeAndre Swift has turned into a bruising running back with his style and how he leans on defender. And you talk about what Kyle come in as a change of pace. What Ben Johnson has created, what he had in Detroit. Two different running backs that coexist nicely in the backfield. You got a change of pace wide receiver, who what he had in Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have that now, and Luther. And then you look at the tight end production that he has along with the offensive line. Man, he's done a great job, man. Never, ever think that coaching is overrated.
It certainly matters in Chicago
because
right
it
now.
matters when you get the right guy, and they're playing a different brand of football. And I love that they took care of their business instantly. They didn't play around with their food.
And that was very much in the cut of the jib of Chicago, what we expected in this game. It's a less than stellar run defense for the Cleveland Browns. It was sort of run it 50 times and find yourself a win. We saw 17 of 28 for 242 and 2 touchdowns out of Caleb. This man in near 0-degree weather throwing the ball like that, Emery, what did that show you?
This is as much as we say the NFL, the margin for victory or error is razor thin because everybody's good, right? But there's a clear separation when you have Jimmy's and Joe's, and this was a Jimmy's and Joe's game. And when you look at the Chicago Bears and you strip away all the names, you're like, well, could be an NFC Pro Bowl team. You got DeAndre Swift, you got Caleb Williams, you got two good tight ends, Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland, you got Luther Burden, you got DJ Moore. You have all of these, they have great weapons, juxtaposed to the Browns who don't have great weapons. And when we talked about this all throughout the show, the Eric Bieniemy factor. Like, that's why Swift is doing what he's doing, because he's doing what he's supposed to do within the construct of the game plan and within the construct of the run play. And Monangai is doing the same thing. We don't see any false steps from Monangai nor Swift. And the offense did exactly what it was. They played like this was 75 degrees outside.
Yes, they
Cleveland
did.
played like it was cold.
Cleveland absolutely played it like it was cold, and I think that was a great point that the two of you have made about that weather and how no one's going to want to go to Chicago and play in that weather. Don't know why Chicago wants to build an indoor stadium, of course. Oh, to get a Final Four? Oh, to get a concert? Okay.
In that north end zone.
Well, yeah, whatever. We'll talk about that later on. Look, this is what I saw from the Cleveland Browns. It was a team who, once they went down, it was too cold for them. And, you know, this is still a young team. You talk about not really having stars. Look, Quinshon Judkins could be. Harold Fannin is getting that way, right?
No run game.
But no run game. Absolutely. Shedeur Sanders was the leading rusher. He had 2 carries. If that tells you anything at all, up front, they're going to have to rework that offensive line. You're going to have Myles Garrett, who's going to get Defensive Player of the Year and probably the sack record at some point in the next week or two. And none of it's going to matter, right? And you look forward to what is beyond, because we know that Chicago, what is beyond for them? They're playing January football. They may be even waiting a week to play January football because they could get the #1 seed in the NFC. Meanwhile, for the Cleveland Browns, you may be looking at a coaching change. You may be looking at a shakeup in the front office. And it's going to, they may not have their quarterback of the future. We've all been excited about Shedeur Sanders. He had 3 interceptions today. One was not his fault. I mean, that was a hell of a pass to Jerry Jeudy that ultimately got intercepted. But he's still getting things figured out. Still needs the play sheet and has to get it changed out on the sideline. So the Browns in this game, once you get to this point in the season, when you have a team that could potentially compete for a Super Bowl versus a team that will not compete for a Super Bowl for years, this is the result you get.
You said it, 3 interceptions. It could have been a 4th as Nahshon Wright drops one. There was also a fumble that he was bailed out on, whistled at. Too many giveaways for Shedeur in this game. For the Chicago Bears, big one coming up again with the Green Bay Packers, potentially to decide the North.
He can go in, change out, go from Clark Kent to Superman, and we have not seen that in his return since he came off the hamstring injury. He just does not look comfortable, and we talked about it on our show, where we didn't know what version of Lamar we were going to get when he came back, because it's a matter of, is he fully healthy? Does he fully trust the hamstring to open up? There was a sack that he took, the rookie Knight sacked him. that was a vintage time for Lamar to make his play, scramble, make a guy miss, and be able to create and extend. And it looked like he just almost gave up. Now, on the other side, for me, that's been kind of shocking because I've been begging and calling for this, is the Cincinnati Bengals running the football. And they seem committed to run the football, and they had some things moving, but unfortunately they had a drive in with a turnover, tips and overthrows.
Gotta have those. Gotta have those.
I think it's still a close game, and this game will settle itself out. But I love the fact that Cincinnati is committed to this run game and hopefully get that going.
Yeah, watching Cincinnati run the football, I mean, it's been a joy to our eyes just because this offense has run so much through Joe Burrow, getting the ball to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and they've got a good back in Chase Brown, and he needs those type of carries. Like, if you get him going, he can be a spark to your offense and something that Cincinnati needs. Obviously, you're trying to take pressure off of Joe Burrow and his return, well, following his return, but trying to keep him healthy, trying to keep him from being exposed to injuries. But going back to your question about can the Ravens win without Lamar Jackson playing like Lamar Jackson, I'm going to go with Rand. Absolutely not, because the thing about Lamar Jackson, he's such a special player that whenever he has an average type day, he's frustrated. And whenever he's frustrated, Rand, correct me if I'm wrong, you can see it on his face. Now, Lamar, he's not one of the more animated guys, but we've seen the frustration, the slamming of the helmets, you know, the look on his face. And, you know, he's going to impact the game in one of two ways. He's going to make those highlight type plays that motivate the team and get the guys around him going, get the defense excited to go out there and get a stop, or you're going to see that frustrated Lamar. And I feel like that brings down the play of the guys around him, because, I mean, Rand, you know this. Whenever you've got a guy, if you're my quarterback and you're Superman to me and you don't show up like Superman, then I'm like, what do we got here? You know what I mean? If our best player is not on today, if our best player is frustrated, not only is our best player, but he's the guy that touches the ball on every single offensive play. If he's not on his A game, well, what do we really have today? Because those guys in the locker room, they know that they can't win without Lamar. I mean, they've got guys like D-Hop, D-Hen, who are legendary players, but at the end of their career, they're not going to win games because of those two guys. The Baltimore Ravens need Lamar Jackson to be Black Panther, be Superman, whatever you want to call him, in order for them to have success.
And it's not a hypothetical. They've played games without him, and they do not win without him. And so it's not just a matter of having Lamar Jackson on the field. It's having the Lamar Jackson that we know, that we love, that we've seen on the field. But certainly a okay start for them, up a touchdown here early on. Let's go to one more game. We've got Chargers and Chiefs. Of course, all the talk leading into this one is the Chiefs have got to win a football game if they want to make the playoffs. You got an interception already from Justin Herbert. Patrick Mahomes with an okay stat line here to start this game, but ultimately it feels like this one is a lot of defense, Damian Harris.
Yeah, it's been a lot of defense. I mean, you're not getting a ton of offensive production from either side. Kansas City's defense, I mean, they're playing well, they're playing better as of right now, but when I look at what the Los Angeles Chargers are doing on offense, I think they're limited because they're not getting Kamani Vidal the ball enough. They've gotten Amarian Hampton. I get it. He's your first-round running back. He's the shiny new toy. You want to see what he's got. Kamani Vidal has made the most of every opportunity that he's gotten since Amarian Hampton got hurt, since Najee Harris went down with the Achilles. He has been a spark to this offense that they've needed when Justin Herbert has needed some help. So I think they need to stop trying to force the rookie out there and try to get him that experience. Let the older statesman, Kamani Vidal, let him handle the business. And then when you need that change of pace, get Amarian Hampton in there, see what he can do. But again, remember, he's coming off of injury. You don't want to rush him. Obviously, you have plans for this season in terms of getting to the playoffs, winning a Super Bowl. But at the same time, you don't want to just expose your first-round pick, you know, to bad play or to injury, further injury at that.
See, for me, this is one of those games where you see Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and you get excited. You get excited about the offense.
That's how
We're going to see an offensive explosion, but it's been the two defenses that have been playing well. And I love what I'm seeing out of this Chiefs defense and what they're doing up front. They're running games and twists up front, which, as you know, the Los Angeles Chargers offensive line has been shuffling through guys pretty much the whole season, Damian. And now you have a defensive front like the Kansas City Chiefs that has a ton of guys up front that are now able to move and create this disruption up front that now for a struggling offense they have to try to figure out. And by the way, Chris Jones is playing like Chris Jones. He had seven pressures last week against Houston. I think the monster was awakened, and he's early on in this game he's caused some disruption. So I love what I'm seeing out of this team. And you talked about the Patriots being a team that was willing to hit